Around 10,000 years ago, the Sahara Desert looked completely different from the vast, empty dunes we see today. During a period known as the African Humid Period, the region was covered with grasslands, lakes, and rivers. This era lasted roughly from 10,000 to 5,000 years ago, and it was caused by changes in Earth's orbit and axial tilt, which shifted the monsoon rains northward into what is now the desert. Those rains transformed the Sahara into a thriving ecosystem. There were freshwater lakes hundreds of kilometers wide, such as Mega Lake Chad, which was once one of the largest lakes in the world. Rivers that no longer exist today carved valleys across the desert, and vegetation grew where there is now only sand. Fossil evidence shows that the region supported elephants, giraffes, antelopes, buffalo, hippos, and crocodiles, animals we now associate with sub-Saharan Africa. In fact, small, isolated populations of crocodiles still survive in parts of the desert today, such as in Mauritania and Chad, where they retreat into caves and underground pools during the dry season. These tiny groups are living remnants of that ancient, wetter era. The Sahara also supported large human populations. Archaeologists have discovered remains of ancient settlements, stone tools, pottery, and weapons scattered throughout the desert. Rock art carved and painted on cave walls and cliffs shows people swimming, fishing, herding cattle and hunting, surrounded by animals that no longer live in the region. One of the most famous discoveries is the Cave of Swimmers, located in the Gilf Kabir Plateau of southwest Egypt. The paintings there, dated to about 8,000 years ago, show human figures that appear to be floating or swimming in water, visual proof that the region once contained lakes deep enough to swim in. As centuries passed, the planet's climate gradually changed. The Earth's orbital cycles, known as Milankovitch cycles, altered the amount of solar radiation reaching the northern hemisphere. These slow changes weakened the African monsoon system. Rainfall began to decrease, and the lakes started to shrink. By about 5,000 years ago, the once green Sahara was drying rapidly. Grasslands turned into scrublands, rivers disappeared, and dust storms became more frequent. This environmental transformation had a major impact on human civilization. As water sources vanished, the people who once lived in the central Sahara migrated eastward toward the Nile Valley and southward into the Sahel region. These migrations helped to populate the Nile region and may have directly contributed to the rise of ancient Egypt. The predictable flooding of the Nile provided water for farming and stability for a growing society, and many of the people who helped build that civilization may have been descendants of the Saharan cultures forced to move by desertification. Modern science has confirmed the story of the Green Sahara through multiple lines of evidence. Satellite images show the outlines of ancient river systems buried under the sand. Sediment cores from dried lake beds reveal layers of clay, pollen, and plant material that could only have formed in a wetter climate. Fossilized fish bones and shells have been found hundreds of miles from the nearest water source. Even ancient DNA from human remains supports the idea that populations moved out of the drying Sahara into other regions of Africa. Researchers also use climate models to study these changes. They've discovered that the Sahara can shift between green and desert phases roughly every 20,000 years, following cycles in Earth's orbit. Some scientists even speculate that if global conditions change enough in the future, rainfall patterns might one day return, and the Sahara could become green again. In short, the Sahara Desert was once a massive green ecosystem filled with animals, plants, and human life. Over thousands of years, natural climate changes slowly turned that paradise into the largest desert on Earth. Yet traces of its past remain. In fossils, in ancient art, and in the tiny crocodiles still hiding in desert pools. reminders that the most barren places on Earth were once alive with water, forests, and life.